gotta keep like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep my mouth normal too. I know it's a family show.
It is a family show.
Family show. We're gonna keep it G rated
for everybody.
That's what I'm
Rated
saying.
G.
Rated G.
Yeah. We are back. Yes, we are actually back. I know, another long hiatus, another how many month long hiatus, but we are back. We're back because there's a lot of important things to talk about. And we strategically kind of because of our schedules too, but we can talk about Spider-Man now because spoiler season is over. There's no more of that. If you haven't seen the movie at this point and you get it spoiled, it's on you. That's what I think, at least. I'm your host, Chris Schnabel, with Kyle Scott, and we have a new co-host with us. I'm going to let Chelsea talk about herself a little bit, introduce herself to everybody. Go ahead, Chelsea. What's going on?
Hey guys, Chris, thank you for having me. My name is Chelsea, Chelsea Statio. I am from Dover, New Jersey. I am a junior currently going to Centenary University. I met Chris at our internship at the US Open over the summer. It was a blast. Like Chris likes to say, it was pretty much summer camp. It was so fun. But I mean, besides that, I guess I'm an athlete and I love movies, especially, Marvel movies, and yeah. A little bit about myself.
That was the most college orientation introduction I've ever heard. It's like, hi, I just want to introduce myself. You got quieter at the end of every sentence.
Dude, I had so many introductions this week. It was my first week back at school, so I had to introduce myself like too many times, and yeah, this was one of them.
It just carried over, and then you get another introduction. We picked the right week for it because you have it scripted out and structured. Now, Kyle, I will also let you introduce yourself, even though everybody that's tuning in knows who Kyle is.
Now, hi, I'm Kyle. I'm from Atlanta. I met Schnabel when we was at New Haven. I was playing.
I said about when you met me. Bro, I'm talking about when everybody met me.
Because we gotta tell everybody how we met you, bro, so they know where we coming from. You feel me? So it's like I met him in New Haven back in like 2012, 2013. He's been my guy. He's been my guy for real. For real. It's my dog.
That's it. Perfect. That's a great introduction.
He's the guy, man.
So that's it. You guys now everybody knows how you met me, and have a great day. There's the end of the show. That's all we need to know is how everybody met me. No, we're here to talk about my favorite superhero, probably top 3 notable superheroes.
Yeah,
like you know who it is. He's definitely like Batman, Superman, Spider-Man in some order, right? I would say.
Yeah,
something like that. Maybe you could throw the Joker 3 in there too.
Yeah, they're about the top 3 for real.
Yeah. So, No Way Home came out, which was unbelievable, shattered expectations. You could have had things spoiled for you, gone into the movie, and still walked away enjoying it. It was that good. So we're going to kind of go around and give our opinion of the movie. And Kyle's going to start us off because Kyle literally just watched the movie. He's one of those people I was just talking about that if you haven't seen it and got it spoiled, like you're that guy. That's Kyle. He's that guy.
Nah, see,
the guy that saw it a month after it came out.
Hey, look, this is what you got to realize, though, bro. I'm one of the people, I don't care if I get spoiled. I'm still going to watch the movie anyway because I want to know how does it get there. I'm an actual, like, TV watcher, so it's like, I don't really care. I'm cool with
that's
it.
What somebody that doesn't go see movies definitely says.
Yeah,
well, I don't care anyway. Spoil it if you want.
No, yeah, you can, because I watch anime all day, so it's like, I get spoiled all the time just looking at Twitter and Instagram, so it's all good.
It's funny because, like, the biggest spoiler in the movie was rumored for years, and still, when it happened, it was just like, I was so excited.
Well, here's my thing. It's like, I don't mind knowing spoilers because then I can start noticing the Easter eggs and everything. Like, bro, like, I guess this is where we can start. So, like, not gonna lie. I guess let's go good and then, like, we'll go with all things I don't like.
Okay.
But what I did like, I totally forgot how much of a dog Green Goblin was. Like,
the phone, man.
I forgot. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I never liked Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man because I thought he was soft. So, like, Chelsea, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a Batman guy. So, like, I want all my superheroes to be like hardcore, like hardcore.
Rich white guys.
No, don't play white guy. He got the hood pass and you know it. He got the hood pass and you know it, Schnabel. Quit playing. Hey, you acting like you don't know what it feels like.
I'm not rich.
No. The other part.
I'm also not a superhero. Maybe.
All right. You smart. It's okay, Schnabel, but you know what I'm talking about. You know,
okay, continue.
Okay. But so I like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man because I thought he was hilarious. Thought he was great with sarcasm. I love sarcasm. But Green Goblin is a dog, man. It's gonna make me rewatch the other Spider-Mans. Even though I don't like Tobey Maguire, I'm gonna watch it just to see my guy Norman Osborn just be a dog. Because bro, when he came out all soft, all just like, hey bro. I was like, oh, it's finna get lit. Like as soon as I seen the Green Goblin come out on that bridge, I said, oh, it's a wrap for Tom Holland. It's a wrap. Like when homeboy sent that bomb on that bridge and it was over with, bro. It was lit.
Yeah, one thing I really liked they did with him, I mean, he was amazing. He's unbelievable. And I can't believe that he did all his own stunts.
He's
like 68 years old.
No way, he did?
Yeah,
that was part of his contract.
That's
that he
crazy.
had to do all his own stunts.
He said he only wanted to do his own stunts. He said he was only going to do that, only wanting to do it if he had his own stunts.
There's two things he said. He said he has to do all his own stunts, and it can't just be like a cameo. He has to actually be in the movie. And when they went and got all these guys, they actually said, like, you're going to be a vital part of the movie. You're not just going to be a stand-in, like, oh, I remember that from this movie. Like, you're going to be an actual part of the movie, which we'll get into a little bit. One thing I really love that they did with him, though, is at the end, they kind of changed his appearance to look more like the comic book with the hood. It was just, they just did such a good job.
I'm going to go on a slight tangent. If we're talking about Easter eggs, did you see Electro's face when he got
the mask?
Old school joint. You didn't see it?
Wait, what do you mean? Say that again?
Okay. When he gets, you want to do it or you want me to talk about it?
No, you got for it. You can probably say it better than me.
Okay, so when they're on the Statue of Liberty,
right,
and he appears, and Jamie Foxx appears, and he gets like electricked up. When the electric's going up his body and shows off his new armor, you see the mask from like comic books go over his face. Like it doesn't have a mask now, but the electric makes the outline of the mask
of the old school,
which was awesome.
Wow, I actually missed that. That's crazy.
That was really great. They did a lot of stuff. There were so many Easter eggs in that movie.
No, it really was.
It was great. I liked it.
Since we're talking Easter eggs and stuff like that, should I say what my absolute favorite part of the movie was? Then we can go back to Kyle.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
When the stick hit the floor and Charlie Cox's Daredevil appeared, I yelled, "Let's go!" in the theater. My theater so pumped.
Dude, my theater went crazy. I was like, no freaking way.
Yeah, that was the best part of the movie for me because I love Charlie Cox's Daredevil. And Daredevil was one of my favorites.
That was lit. Because I looked, and then when he caught the thing from hitting it, I was like, bro, if Daredevil don't show up, I'm going to be mad. Bro, I was like, hey, bro, Daredevil got to show up at some point in one of these multiverses because you can't just bring him in a cameo and not let him be lit.
No. They're definitely... Did you guys see Hawkeye yet?
No, I don't watch Hawkeye. I didn't watch Hawkeye.
Yeah, I saw Hawkeye.
You saw Hawkeye. So Kyle doesn't care about spoilers, so I'll talk about it anyway. We should say spoiler alert.
It's not spoiler alert.
Spoiler
I guess we'll have to put that in the title and in the description. Spoiler alert.
Bro, people either got somebody else's password. They got a password to watch it. So it's okay. It's not a spoiler. It's been out for a minute. Go for it.
It's honestly about to make a month.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they've been around the same time, right? Because Hawkeye finished right around when No Way Home came out, something like that. Anyway, so Hawkeye, Kyle,
go for it.
Who is at the end of Hawkeye?
Daredevil, I'm guessing.
The Kingpin.
Oh,
same one from the show.
That's hard as fuck.
Yeah, yeah. He covers
gotta
his
watch it.
mouth. He's hilarious.
I
So
was
he
trying so hard.
appears at
Sorry.
the end. Well, the last couple of, well, you see like a glimpse of him, and like when you see it, you're like, oh, that's definitely him. And then he finally makes his appearance in episode 5 as a glimpse, and then he's actually in episode 6. So now Kingpin's back and Daredevil are back in the MCU, which is
That's great.
crazy.
That's wonderful.
All right, Kyle, you can continue now if you'd like, now that I just took over your segment.
Nah, that was great, by the way. What else did I like? I did like how Green Goblin was a dog.
Overall, I definitely think Green Goblin was definitely my favorite villain out of all of them.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
just did such a great job, and his character just like went that whole 180, and just he was at like almost Joker level evil at the end of that movie, where like making and that's what he is in the comic books. He makes Peter decide between this and that, you know, and that's what he did, and that's what he did in this movie. It was just so good. It was great how it happened.
Honestly, man. Like, he's easily my number 2 villain besides the Joker. Just I forgot how lit he was. What else? I mean, there was a lot I did like. I liked how they incorporated everybody. I did like how they had Doc Ock turn back to regular.
I like that. I wish we had more evil Doc Ock, but I'll get more into that.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
What was the other thing that I really liked? Oh man.
We get that you're not gonna have everything because you're still digesting.
I know, bro.
Like when I say people that he finished the movie and then recorded, that's literally what happened.
Yes, I'm really
just the movie, and then we jumped down here.
Yeah, I did like how they tied everything up though at the end. I was like, all right, cool, I can deal with that. Okay, so I'm gonna get into the stuff that might be, I guess, hot takes or whatever. Promise we're gonna keep it regular. We'll keep it regular. All right. First off, I understand why Peter made the decision that he made. Because I understand 18-year-olds. I get it. He was fueled by emotion. Because he didn't want to press the button and kill everybody. I get it. But just me, I was so upset at him the entire time. I was like, bro, I know you're 18. I know you want to be I know you're still living under Aunt May, and I know you still want to be her little like echo, her little parrot. But hey, bro, you got to be realistic here. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's seen how destructive Doc Ock was, and he should have seen how Doc Ock was reacting to Norman Osborn when he's seen him. If a villain gives props to somebody else, that must mean have some sort of elite villainy. You feel me? Like, I'm just gonna be real here. And I understand that Tom Holland was 18, and I get it, but
I don't think it's blissful ignorance that is why he did that. Like,
I'm not saying it was blissful ignorance. I'm just saying, like,
I meant to say youthful. Sorry, I meant youthful.
Oh, youthful. Like, it's not even that. It's just like, I get it, because like I know that's his, like, the way he lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that's Spider-Man as like a core person. Like, I get that. I personally don't like that, because I was like, this whole thing could have been avoided if you would have just made one decent decision. To me, it just looked like somebody, like a kid who kept making one bad decision on top of another bad decision on top of another bad decision. And I get Doctor Strange was trying to help him.
Doctor Strange.
I felt bad for him a little bit. Yeah, I know he has a little evil twin at some point. But like, I was like, yo, I kind of feel bad for the adult in the room, because he's really trying. But Peter just keeps getting in his own way.
You haven't seen the What If series.
No.
So in the What If series, there's a bunch of different, it's a cartoon, but there's a bunch of different, like, what if this happened instead of that? And it does all the MCU. And apparently it's a part of the MCU. So like everything that happens is canon to the movies.
That's cool.
But it's in different universes. There's one where Doctor Strange gets in the accident and loses the love of his life instead of the use of his hands, and he becomes like the darkest, most powerful Doctor Strange. Now, at the end of the movie, did you watch all the way through the credits and you saw the end credits?
Yeah, I saw all of that. That's how I know.
At one point, now it could be something completely different, but there's Doctor Strange with the dark version of Doctor Strange, but in person now. I'm wondering if that Doctor Strange from another universe came over somehow, or is that just Doctor Strange trying to help out Peter? Because if you think of like the Endgame movies and even his movie, it just doesn't seem like something he would do. And I going in didn't think it was Doctor Strange. I thought it was going to be someone that like completely different, but then it wasn't at the end. They never brought in another character or anything like that. So I just sit there and I wonder, like, what is it that made him do that? Because so far in his character development through the movies, that was not his character, to do something so insanely reckless for something so small, like something so minuscule that can have universe destroying results. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why I kind of looked at Strange and was like, hey, bro, you got to be a better adult. Like, why was that the first thing he thought of, was erasing everybody's memory?
Well, he thought about it because it was triggered when Wong was leaving or something like that. And he thought about, oh, well, we can do this. But I get why they did it. I get why they moved in that direction. There's two theories of why, and one's very scary and one's very exciting. Yeah. But I understand why they did that. I just wonder if it like was actually Doctor Strange. Is there something we're going to learn of why he did it, or was it not him at all?
I can see them going with not him at all, though.
Yeah,
but just to get it suspenseful and to get all this extra out of it. Yeah,
but Marvel loves doing where you think it's that, and then they do something completely different, you know, because they don't want you to catch on. So they'll do something completely different. But I don't know. It just didn't seem like something Doctor Strange would do, but they did it because they wanted to reset Spider-Man / Peter Parker's timeline. And now there's two directions they can go in. They can go in the direction of now he'll be more like the traditional comic book where he has nobody, he's broke, he's going to have to work at the Daily Bugle, taking pictures, like in the comic, you know, doing something like that.
That'd be cool.
And that's what Spider-Man is, and they'll build from there. And obviously the symbiote's now in the movie because we saw it at the end that it's still in his universe. So that's one way they can go. Another way they can go is Sony can be like, this is really successful. See you later, Disney, and take them and do their own thing now, because no one has any recollection of who he is. No one knows who he is. They don't know who Peter Parker is. They don't know that he's Spider-Man. They could just go and do their own thing now. And that's it, because Disney doesn't own them. So there's one that could be really cool. And then there's one that's really scary, because I like him in the MCU. And I really like that nobody remembers him, because now they're going to reset him a little bit. And he's not going to be the puppy dog chasing Iron Man. He's going to be Spider-Man, which is like Spider-Man / Peter Parker in the comics is very confident. He's not someone that's just like following everybody. Like, he's the leader of most of these groups, like in some way, shape, or form. So that's just how I feel there.
I feel you, but that's all I can think of right now. Is I was just mad about how unrealistic he was, but it was all good. It was really.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I think this was part of his like character transformation. Like, he's making decisions on his own, and it's not selfish ones. Yeah. Like, it's ones to help. And that's his whole character, is to help. Like, it's not just to destroy or kill the enemy. It's to help so it doesn't happen again. Like, he knows if he sends these guys back, their same result's going to happen, where they're going to die, but they're also going to cause a lot of pain and damage in these other universes. But if they help them in this universe and then they go back, that result won't happen. So he's really, by saving them, You're saving the people that might have died in the process. Like, think of it, now that he did that, how do we know Gwen Stacy and the Amazing Spider-Man's isn't still alive? Because those don't happen, because when he said he got taken back, like she didn't die yet. So she might still be alive. But then again, I don't think Electro was the one that did it. I haven't seen that movie in a while.
I think it was
in a while.
The second one?
The second Amazing Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah, it was with Electro.
Yeah, but it was with Electro, but there was like 80 villains in that. And I don't remember if it was the Green Goblin.
Died from whiplash.
Oh no, it was the Green Goblin, yeah.
It was the Green Goblin that threw her off that. Yeah, and he wasn't in that. That version of the Green Goblin wasn't in there. So who knows if the same result happens or not. But
she died from whiplash though.
No, I know, but I'm saying, like, I couldn't remember who threw her off the building in the first place. Like, if it was Electro and he's no longer evil, then she doesn't get thrown off the building. You know what I mean? So that's what I meant. But
or maybe
they set up for cool stuff.
Go ahead.
For Tom Holland's Peter Parker, I mean, at first he wanted to put them all back in their universe until he went back to the feast to meet with Aunt May and Norman, and he told Aunt May that he was going to bring them all back to the universe, and Aunt May was telling him to not do that, to help them.
Yeah.
So that's where his mindset changed. So at first he was going to do that, listen to Doctor Strange, but Aunt May would, made him change his mind, which also kind of like not foreshadowed, but kind of, towards the end is now she's gone, so it's kind of her fault. But
and that's when you see like the actual character development of not killing anyone after that, like not going into a rage and killing everyone, but actually still helping them, even though they took the last thing he had. Like that, other than his friends, that was the last thing he had.
They did take his friends because he forgot. They don't know him anymore.
I mean, like before all that, like before they did the forgetting spell, other than the friends, because the friends were still technically around, but now he has nobody, which is they can go in a lot of good directions, but a lot of scary ones too.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
That's all Kyle's got.
That's all I got.
Chelsea, you want to tell us a little bit what you thought?
No, I definitely thought it was like a mixed motion ride. It was very, like, at first, like, I was really, happy. He had, MJ, his aunt, happy, his best friend, and then just like from there, it was just going like, it was like happy and sad. He beat Otto, and then, all of a sudden he catches all these villains like so fast. Right, and the next thing you know, he's trying to help them. That's happy and everything. The next thing you know, the Green Goblin switches, and you're like, oh my god, he's mad this whole time, and Aunt May dies. That's sad, but then Toby and Andrew comes out of nowhere. That's happy, and then they're fighting all these villains, and no one dies after that. But next thing you know, the whole world forgets about Peter Parker, especially MJ and Ned, and he's like. It's just sad, it's because, he's alone and everything. Even when he sees Happy at the yeah, like, and Happy's like, how do you know him? Like, through Spider-Man. I'm like, yeah, like, that's so sad, I just feel so bad for him. It's just like, it was really just a movie like filled with mixed emotions, but it was so good. It was really unexpected.
We didn't talk about Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield like really at all in that entire first conversation. Like when Andrew Garfield was standing at the end of the ring, I was like, freak. I was like, that's him. There he is. There's Andrew Garfield's here. I was so pumped because it was obviously rumored heavily and all that stuff, but just to finally actually see it and see what they did with it was just so good. And like Kyle said, Andrew Garfield was so good. And that was the consensus coming out. Everyone thought he was really good, which he was.
Yeah,
but like
he was.
Everyone thought that Andrew Garfield just did an amazing job, which again, he did.
No, absolutely. As the movie was like arriving, like the closer it got to the release date, like, for people, everyone saw like, leaks of like, apparently there's 3 Spider-Mans, and like even the trailers, like there was a problem, like they forgot to like edit what's his name? The lizard? I forgot his name. But
Mhm.
he got punched in the trailer, but there was no
Yeah.
one there. I don't know if you guys saw that leak.
No, it
And they
was,
were
I know what you're
saying,
talking about. It was,
yeah,
they were all jumping. It was Tom Holland, and they washed out the other two. And you had one jumping at Holland, one kind of jumping up, could have been jumping at somebody, but then the lizard was completely jumping in a different direction, clearly jumping at somebody else.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that leak released. So then, everyone was like, oh my God, like there's gonna be 3 Spider-Mans. And then as it got closer, I only started seeing Andrew. So I'm like, I think only Andrew's gonna be in this one. Maybe they might continue, like they may make a part 2 of this multi-universe. So I was like only really expecting Andrew. And then I saw Toby too. I was like, oh my God. And like I just love how I love how they made the introduction of Toby and Andrew with Ned and MJ. Like it wasn't with Peter. Like they made
Mhm.
it exciting. It was funny too with the whole grandma and like Andrew going up on the ceiling, getting
Yeah.
the freaking spider webs. Like it was just I thought it was really well done. Like they really like got it out of the box. It was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
Andrew Garfield's such a good Spider-Man.
Yeah, he
Like,
is.
I like him as it. I was never the biggest fan of him as Peter Parker because he's just like such a cool dude. And
Hmm.
not to say that Peter Parker is he's supposed to be a little bit of a nerd. He's like a science person and stuff like that. But like when you think Peter Parker, you don't think Andrew Garfield, like
Right.
the person. But he does a really good job. And as Spider-Man, he's excellent. He does better quips than anybody. Like
Hmm.
either of the other two. Like they don't do quips like Andrew Garfield does. Andrew Garfield does the best quips in his Spider-Man. And for Tobey Maguire, apparently he like reluctantly was a part of the movie. Like you probably won't see much of him as Spider-Man after this movie, is what people are kind of rumoring, that he
Oh
really
yeah,
didn't
I've
want to
seen.
be a part of it to begin with. But Andrew
Oh wow.
Garfield, there's much bigger rumors,
Hmm.
much bigger rumors, more
I've
exciting.
heard. I've
You've heard
heard.
some
I've
of those?
heard. Yeah, it's
Well,
number 3.
that's what a lot of people say, but the
Hmm.
rumor that I am like think is really cool. So because they're both the Sony, I'll get back to them both. He's part of the Sony universe,
Hmm.
which is also where Venom is from.
Hmm.
So what's to say they're not from the same universe? And
Right.
now that you got the reaction you did from Andrew Garfield and people loving Andrew Garfield, why not throw him in the Venom movies? The thing about the Venom movies people have been dying for is for Spider-Man to be there. It
Spider-Man.
makes
Yeah.
no sense not to have Spider-Man. But now you can do it. Now you can
Mhm.
have a Spider-Man, and Andrew Garfield wants to play Spider-Man again. So like you can have a Spider-Man in the Venom.
I think that would be amazing. That would be amazing. I think
Amazing
that I
Spider-Man
think
3.
I think it's yeah for real. I think it's gonna happen honestly. And I'm gonna be honest. Like I didn't really like Andrew Garfield's villains. I don't know. I wasn't like all
The writing
about
of
it.
his movies weren't great either.
Yeah, they weren't. But I mean, after this movie, I think adding Venom to his world, I think it's gonna be really good. They do a good job.
It's he did really good as Spider-Man,
Hmm.
but the writing of the movies,
And the villains
like
just weren't good.
he dated, what was it, Emma Stone, right?
Hmm.
Was Gwen Stacy? They
Hmm.
dated in real life, but on
Right.
screen, they seemed like they were forced together. They were actually dating. Like you should have been able to feel the romance and all the romantic scenes because they were actually a couple.
You
But
thought they were I thought they were pretty good. I thought that was like the
I think
only like I thought it was like the only really great thing about it. Like I thought their love was like probably like the best out of all 3. I'm not gonna
really, I
lie.
thought in the second one it seemed forced. There's a lot of problems
Uh,
with the second Amazing Spider-Man, though. Like a lot of problems.
See, I like the second Amazing Spider-Man. Like seeing Shorty die broke my
Dude,
heart.
No, that
yeah,
was
I cried.
that's
I'll
the
never
thing though.
forget that.
Take that scene out of the movie, and what's your opinion of the movie?
No, I still
Jamie
think
Foxx should have won. I like it, but Jamie Foxx should have won.
Jamie Foxx.
the
Oh, you think Electro should have won? By the way, can we talk about how he just had a complete face
Make
transformation in the movie
yeah.
with no explanation? Like they
yeah.
never said what happened.
Remember when he got transferred to the new universe? You know what I'm saying? He wasn't ugly no more because he got a new power. He got new energy.
Why didn't everybody else get that?
Don't ask me, man.
I don't know. I mean, even in the movie, like the lizard even said, like you look different, like like you
Yeah.
had a whole like hair to the side, glasses, and I forget what he said, but he was like new me,
He
something
just
like that.
yeah, he just said new
But yeah.
universe, new me. They never really touch on it. It's fine. It's that no one's complaining about that because the movie was pretty damn good.
Plus,
But I go ahead.
I like Jamie Foxx anyway.
I like Jamie Foxx too. I like Jamie Foxx a lot. I thought he was really good in the movie too. I thought everybody was very good in the movie. Like they all played their parts really well. And especially the Remy verse villains, Doc Ock and Green Goblin, and even Sandman, like they felt like they were like you would have thought they were working on their own movie and then transferred to this one. You wouldn't think there's a 20-year difference in between the two. They did such a good job getting back into those characters. That's what I personally think with them. I thought they did such a good job.
I heard that. I mean, I've seen on social media that they weren't even there. I don't know if you guys seen that. That like some of the scenes, like when Sandman goes back to being a human, like that is taken out from the original Spider-Man of him moving. They just edited it. Yeah, and the same thing for the lizard. Like if you were to look at Amazing Spider-Man, it's the same like movement. They just edit it differently, but the same voice, but they're just not there. I don't know if you guys ever seen. I don't know if you guys ever saw the interview with It was just the guy that played Otto, Jamie Foxx, and the Green Goblin. It was just them three. Have you guys seen that interview?
Molina and Defoe.
I think so. I think so, but it
I
was
have
just
not
them
seen
three.
it.
But I saw that. I saw it on social media. I'm not sure if it's true, but I mean, it makes sense
It could
because
be.
most of the time, yeah, they're Sandman and the Lizard. So, you know.
Well, Tom Holland didn't know that he was disintegrating at the end of Infinity War.
Oh, really?
He had no idea. And the reason they did that was because he spoils everything in every movie.
Yes.
So instead of him being able to spoil it, he just had no idea. So
Smart.
we all know what happened, and we all know that I don't feel good and stuff like that happened, but he didn't know. So I could see that absolutely, which is awesome.
Yeah.
There were so many callbacks in that movie, which is what it's supposed to happen. Like,
you know what I did like? What I really liked was how they explained the web shooters. Like how that right there was gold. Because I was like, they were like, yo, so how does it? They're like, it's not that it's weird, man. It's just, we can't do it.
The interactions with the Spider-Man, like, seemed like three Peter Parkers talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Just really dorky and quirky and awkward, and like it was written really well. It was really well done. I so enjoy the movie. Probably gonna watch it again soon. I'm actually going through like millions of other people that saw the movie. I'm going through the entire MCU now and making my way back to that movie. So I'm about 5 of the 32 in right now.
No, and I liked how like Toby and Andrew, like they kind of like reflected like off their own universe. Like for example, when Toby meets Otto again, Otto's like, "How are you doing, Toby?" And he's like I'm trying to do better. Like, and we all know like what he did in the original Spider-Man. He was different at one point, right? And like another example is like when Andrew saved MJ. Like we all felt.
Oh yeah, that was one of the best scenes in the movie.
Right? Like I just like it just shows back to their universe. We knew what they were going through.
Yeah, and it was so nice because like Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 got like bad reviews and stuff like that, and Spider-Man 3 was probably the worst of the whole bunch. The one with Venom and stuff like that. It's just again poorly written, just not good. But to see him come back and have like the redemption, like that's why Andrew Garfield's even being considered. If he is not in there, no one even considers him again for Spider-Man. But they see him at his best with really good writing, and they're like, oh, like I want more of that. Which nobody said at the end of the Amazing Spider-Man 2. what people said is like, man, I love Spider-Man. I hope they don't cancel this. Which is exactly what happened. So that's
Literally.
it's like the redemptions, all the redemptions that happened, which was great. By the way, I want to say people always talked about, so Tobey Maguire says I've been stabbed before, and everyone's like, well, when did you get stabbed? And there was the theory that like Spider-Man 4, he was supposed to fight Vulture and get stabbed. He gets stabbed by Harry Osborn in Spider-Man 3. So I don't understand why people don't understand why he said that. He gets stabbed in Spider-Man 3. Or am I wrong?
No, he does.
On the rooftop.
No, he does.
Yeah. So I'm not crazy. Okay. I just wanted to, I thought I remembered that, but like I wasn't sure. I was like, I'm pretty sure he gets stabbed in the movie, so that makes sense. But everyone's like, oh, it must be this, must be this, must be this. It's like, no, it's from the movie. You can see it happen. But it's just so many theories coming out of this. I can't wait. Should I go into what I enjoyed? If I haven't said it already?
Yeah.
Like I've said most of the things I enjoyed. I really enjoyed the movie. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I've read Spider-Man comics since I was in the single digits. And I'm almost 30 now. So there's a lot of reading that happened in between that. And I already said what my absolute favorite part was when Daredevil came in, because Daredevil is one of my favorite characters of all time. For people that don't really read Spider-Man, the original Spider-Mans, the Punisher, Fantastic Four, especially the Human Torch, and Daredevil are like always in the comics. I think both Daredevil and Punisher were introduced in Spider-Man comics. So I do hope they bring the Punisher back too, and they all relate to that world. That'd be great. But that was my absolute favorite part, when the stick goes down and you see it's Matthew Murdock. I loved it. Even for that 5 minutes, that was amazing for me. But I like how all these characters came in and they weren't just like quick cameos, or you just kind of see them in the background, or they have one line and that's it. And I also think that the characters that needed to get the most lines got the most lines. I think I like Jamie Foxx. I think he could have been more as like what the Sandman was, or the Lizard was. Like they gave him a pretty prominent role, which is fine because the two prominent roles for villains in the movie were both from the Remiverse. So you got to have one from the Amazing Spider-Man as well. But I think like the villains got the right amount of airtime as well. The biggest thing I wish is we got more evil Doc Ock. As a big Spider-Man comic guy, Doc Ock is the villain for Spider-Man. So just having a little bit of evil Doc Ock and then he's just automatically good. I was wishing there was more. I don't mind what they did with his character, but I felt like there just could have been so much more done with his character. And Molina plays it so well that I feel like that was a missed opportunity. But sticking with the villains, Defoe, man, as the Green Goblin coming back, just did not miss a beat. At the end of the movie, he is playing so evil. It's great. Like, I loved it. I also wish there's more Doctor Strange in that movie. I really like Doctor Strange. I like Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, but again, I don't even think that's the real Doctor Strange. Those are just theories. The Easter eggs in that movie, I feel like almost every scene had an Easter egg. Just about every scene had some sort of Easter egg that you can find.
I like how the Green Goblin egged on Tom Holland's Spider-Man like he did Tobey's.
Yeah.
And I was like,
there was an Easter egg from somewhere at every point. It was great.
It was so great because I'm just like, bro, you just really being like, he was really a true villain. Like just by the way and just like, I like how like he uses Norman Osborn without Norman even knowing it.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what it was in Spider-Man as well, where like Norman's still him, but the Green Goblin is like in his soul basically and can take him over whenever he wants. And I just thought it was really well written. I'm glad they brought like the people back to help with the characters as well. So it wasn't like someone else trying to write this character. Like the characters are written correctly, and I'm probably going to see it about 3 more times. It was just so good. I'm glad they gave redemption to Andrew Garfield. Like I said, the first Amazing Spider-Man, I didn't mind. I didn't like it the first time I watched it. But then the second time, it kind of like I liked him more as Spider-Man. The second one I did not like. I didn't like the second Amazing Spider-Man. So I'm glad they gave him his redemption with MJ. I'm glad they gave him his redemption as a character. And I'm glad he came out with people wanting more. Like, I'm so excited for that.
No, absolutely.
Let's
Well, I mean, I can say the same. I don't think you were alone on that liking the Amazing Spider-Man, the first one. You know, I don't think anybody was happy that we were coming out with a different Spider-Man.
yeah.
You know, and that was the same for me. Like, I was like, no way, like, we're replacing Toby, you know, but no, it ended up being pretty good, you know, and now look at us, like, with all three Spider-Mans in one universe. Like, no one would have expected that to happen in the movies, honestly. I did. So
Well,
I think
think
it's really good.
one of the biggest reasons, and now Kyle, I don't know how much he's going to know about this. I think one of the biggest reasons they did this now is because The Flash comes out this year. And The Flash is going to be this basically. Like they're going to be taking characters from a bunch of the old movies and putting them in The Flash. There's only a couple confirmed so far. Let's see. So right now we have The Flash that's going to be in it. Ben Affleck's Batman will be in it, which he's already in that universe.
I like
right?
He's in Batman.
He's in the Snyderverse already. But then Michael Keaton's Batman from the 1989 series is going to be in there as well as like old man Bruce Wayne.
Yes. Okay, I was about to say old man Bruce Wayne. I like him because I like Michael Keaton's.
Me too.
I also like Ben Affleck's.
I was always a fan of Christian Bale.
Well, yeah, I think everybody
he was
Christian
the
Bale.
best one. To me, he was the best one. He was the best.
Absolutely. I wish it was still him.
Yeah, like I mean, since I'm like a Batman guy, like I really wish they would make a Batman Beyond for me, man. Like I need one on the Bat Family. Like it's so lit. The Bat Family so lit, bro.
Hold on.
Personally, I know we always put I know what.
Have you been keeping up with the Batman coming out in March?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm making sure because like that looks like it's going to be really good, and Robert Pattinson looks really good.
I'm excited for Batman. I'm going to be the first person in line when it comes out.
That was me for Spider-Man.
I'm taking the day off from work.
That was me for Spider-Man. I went to see Spider-Man at the first showing possible. It was like the day before it came out at 3 p.m. I had to. I didn't want to get spoiled. Have you seen, Kyle, any of the shows leading up to the Batman? I think The Penguin on HBO Max is one of them, and there's one more, I think.
I don't have any of those, but I'm trying to find a nice friend who can hook your boy up with the HBO. Or I might coerce my aunt into getting HBO. Because like
I think there's like prequel shows to the Batman.
It's okay. It's okay. I don't mind going back and rewatching everything. Like I'm one of them people. I just love Batman. Like, you know.
So who's your favorite Batman? Because there's been a lot of them.
My favorite or who I think is the best Batman?
I think, well, okay, because your favorite might not be the best. So let's go with your favorite and then who you think the best is.
My favorite is Michael Keaton because that was the first Batman I've seen.
And you're on the same boat as a lot of people.
Yeah, like I'm just be real. Like watching Michael Keaton, like my mom had the bootleg tape where you watch the dude on the theater, like they was taping it in the theater. So you watch I remember watching
people getting up in front of it.
Yo, man, what? When I actually seen it on video, I was more excited because I finally got to see the Batmobile without somebody doing this and like, woo! Like that's my vivid memory of like watching Michael Keaton and having to have an imagination and wondering what the Batmobile looks like.
Chelsea
So,
might be too young for this, but Kyle, did you ever go to like flea markets or something like that? And the guy would have the plastic with the bootleg DVDs, and they'd
bro,
be like $5.
hey, bro, you didn't even go to the barbershop. You don't even know about that. When you go to
No,
the
I didn't. I
the
didn't go to the barbershop to get
bootlegger
my
guy
DVDs.
is always at the barbershop.
Is he still?
No. It's
You
over
don't
with now.
bootleg with
His game
DVDs
been
now.
gone. He died out around 2009 when streaming started.
2009.
Bro, because you got to realize, like, people started bootlegging their own discs and they ain't need him no more because he would upcharge people. Like now, Schnabel, dude, I don't know how good your mama was, but I remember my mom getting stuff off the back of a truck. But we did live in Newark, though. Oh yeah, I used to live in Newark, by the way, Chelsea, Newark. So like, all in Atlantic City, which all my cousins lived, that was a fun time.
I don't think we ever got off the back of a truck, but it was kind of the same thing when you went to the flea market because it was just the guy had a spot with his just giant van parked there filled with DVDs.
Bro, it's
and then he
literally
put them out on the table and he would just replace it.
Bro.
So it's kind of the same thing. That's where I got all my comic books too, is the flea market. You get like a stack of them, a fat stack of them for like $1 or $10 or something like that. Because at the time, before Spider-Man and X-Men and Blade and even Batman was just starting, like that late 90s, nobody cared about comic books. The reason there were so many superhero movies in the early 2000s is because Marvel was selling the rights to everyone because they were going bankrupt. So comic books didn't even matter to anybody. They were a dime a dozen then. Now you can't. I went to go get, and I'm going to talk more about the comic. I'll talk about this later, but I was going to get a comic. It just came out. When comics come out, they're usually $3.99, right? So I went to go get it at the comic book shop. Just came out, like literally the other day. $16. They already uppriced it. Just came out. How are you supposed to get it? You had no opportunity to get it at the actual price. They upped it immediately. I don't get it. But that's why I have Marvel Unlimited, because then I don't have to go get it. I can just read it on my tablet.
Smart.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Well, that's a good spot to transition, because here at the end of the show, we're going to kind of switch things up a little bit from how we used to do it. And we're going to kind of give recommendations about what we are kind of watching and playing and reading and all this stuff. I can even go first because I already started talking about it. So I started reading Devil's Reign. Okay. It's a Marvel comic. Marvel comics, by the way, have been on the up. They've definitely been on the up. The last couple of years, their comics have been okay, but now they're really, I mean, like King in Black and Death of Doctor Strange, and now Devil's Reign. These are just three that I've been reading of late. They're excellent. They're excellent. But I'm going to talk about Devil's Reign. They're on issue 3, I think it is now, of a 6 miniseries. So far, it's unbelievable. The story is the Kingpin is elected mayor. No shock, happens in a lot of them. But he is able to convince the citizens that superheroes cause more bad and wreckage than good. So he outlaws superpowers. So anybody that uses their superpowers gets arrested. And he even has a lot of the main villains you would see, like Doc Ock, like as like in the police force to arrest these superheroes. So a team led by Captain America and Daredevil get together to try to take down the Kingpin because he's trying to take away superheroes. And they don't know this yet, but he's trying to take away superheroes because the Kingpin's son is now the Kingpin of crime. And he's trying to clear the way for him to rise up the ranks faster. It's really good. It's really well done. It's like a mega Avengers comic book, like Iron Man, Spider-Man, Daredevil, Elektra, Captain America, you name them, they're in this. It's almost like King in Black, which Kyle, you might like, that's a Venom one, but it has that same thing. Like anyone you can think of is in that one, but it's very Venom centric. It's really good. 5-issue miniseries came out last year. But Devil's Reign is definitely something, if you like Marvel, if you like a lot of these characters and you want to have something that's like going to kind of grab you right from the beginning, and you don't really need to read anything previous. There's other previous readings that you can do coming up to this, but you don't really have to. Devil's Reign is definitely the way to go. It's hard to find on Marvel Unlimited. Like I just said, they're already up pricing it at comic book shops. So it's tough to come across, but if you can come across it, or if you want to wait until the series is over, I think it ends in March. Wait until the series is over and then get the full book. Then you can just read it cover to cover. But highly recommended. It's been really good so far. Kyle, what you got going on?
Well, I want to know what you've been listening to.
What I've been listening to.
What's on the Spotify right now?
So I haven't been listening to like music lately because when I run, I can't listen to music. Okay, I have to listen to like podcasts and stuff like that. A really good, if you want a really good comic podcast, the Variant podcast is very good. They kind of talk about everything. Usually what they do is they try to talk one thing Marvel, one thing DC, and one thing Star Wars in every episode. They go really in depth. They're very good. Other than that, I listen to a lot of sports ones to keep up with sports because I've been busy, can't keep up with a lot of Gonzaga ones. So I can keep up with my Gonzaga because when I'm working the game, I don't even realize what's going on in the game most of the time. So I'm keeping up with that. Music wise, I just watched Tick, Tick, Boom. I don't know if you guys seen that. It's with Andrew Garfield. Just came out. It's about the guy that wrote Rent. What's his name? John something. But it's about him. It's about before he wrote Rent. It's about him like trying to make it big. It's his own. It's based on his own self show, one-man show. It is so good. Andrew Garfield is excellent in the movie. And I listen to a lot of that music because it's just so good. So there you go. There's what I've been listening to. And there's a movie recommendation. That is on Netflix.
Okay.
Tick, tick, boom.
Definitely to some of those podcasts you listen to. The sports
What's up?
ones. Definitely have to send me those podcasts you listen to.
Yeah. The Variant podcast. So this is a great plug for free. I don't even know these people. So, but you're getting plugged. The Variant podcast is excellent. But Variant, the channel on YouTube, is also great if you're trying to learn about characters and their comic origins. Go to Variant on YouTube and then search the character like Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Spider-Man, Batman, Joker, Bullseye, whoever you're trying to look for. Go there and they'll give you a full, complete comic book history of the character. They'll give you recommended readings. They'll give you all that stuff. So that's Variant, yep. Variant Comics is probably the best way to do it.
That's cool. I like that.
So there you go. There's a good recommendation for everyone, including my co-hosts.
Hey, bro, I'm really looking that up now.
Who wants to go next? I said Kyle, but Chelsea, you want to go next.
Yeah.
I'll use this spot to ask a question. Now he goes last.
What do you want me to say again?
Give us a show or a game you've played recently or a comic book you've been reading.
I actually am. I restarted it maybe like a week ago. I restarted Spider-Man the video game.
So good.
It's super good. And I restarted it because I want to get. I still haven't played Miles Morales' one. So
really?
I want to restart this. Yeah, I still haven't played it. I've been busy with like school and soccer and just life. I was just so busy. So before I get to that, I want to finish Spider-Man again so I remember because it was such a long time ago. I think it came out in 2019 or 18.
Spider-Man the game or the Miles Morales?
No, Spider-Man the game. I still haven't even started.
Spider-Man the game
Miles.
came out in 2018, I think. I was still living in Boston at the time.
exactly. So yeah, I've been doing that. I'm still in the process of beating it. So
The new one is supposed to come out next year. It looks good.
yeah, that one
It
looks
looks
good
really
too.
good. That's for another day. That's for when they drop the next trailer or something like that. But that looks.
Exactly.
If you're this is the best time to be a Spider-Man fan. You got all the
Mhm.
games
It really
coming out
is.
for Sony. You got the MCU with the Spider-Man movies. You got the Into the Spider-Verse movies, which we didn't even get into. The next Into the Spider-Verse coming out at the end of this year, which is crazy. Like, such a great time to be a Spider-Man fan. And then Disney
It
owns the
really is.
merchandising rights to Spider-Man. So there's going to be
Okay.
a Spider-Man everything you'd ever wish for, so they can make as much money as they can off of them.
Mhm.
Yeah, literally. Well, also too, I was just thinking, I feel like we also missed the fact back in Spider-Man, when Jamie and Andrew had that interaction, and Jamie was like, he expected Andrew to be black, and he was saying that
Yeah.
there has to be another black Spider-Man somewhere. And
Well,
I think it's just so funny, practically foreshadowing.
it's
Yeah.
in Holland's universe. There is a Miles Morales. It's in
That's definitely cool.
Homecoming when Donald Glover, who's the Prowler, not the Prowler in the movie,
Mhm.
but he's Aaron
Yes,
Davis, and he's on
his
the
nephew.
phone and says, "Sorry, Miles, I can't make it." Like, he's his uncle and says, "Miles, he can't make it." That's Miles Morales.
Yes,
He's in that universe. It is confirmed
I
he's there
I totally forgot about that. I knew that, but I forgot about it.
because
Yes,
it's so
you're right.
subtle.
Yes.
It's not like there's
Mhm.
no attention
Yeah.
brought to it at all. It's not even the main focus
Yes.
of that scene. So it's
No.
very subtle.
I can't lie. I
Mhm.
was yelling Miles Morales hit my TV screen.
There is one, Jamie. There is one.
I was like, Miles, Jamie. But I know he doesn't know.
Miles. Mhm.
I just think the funniest
That's so
part
funny.
of that, and this is again makes me think Peter Parker so much, is when he says, "I thought you were going to be black," and he goes, "Oh, sorry." Like, apologizing. But
Yes.
he's not. It's so funny.
I
That's
like
so
the
funny.
sarcasm. That's why I like Andrew's Spider-Man so
That's what
much.
I mean. His quips are better than either of Toby or Tom Holland.
Yeah, because like to me, that's what Spider-Man is. Like
Mhm.
quick-witted, a little like mature, but still immature. Like to me,
Mhm.
Toby was too mature to be a Spider-Man for me because I always think of Spider-Man being between 18 and 21. Personally, that's like my favorite kind of like age range for Spider-Man. Like, but like when I say more between 20 and 22, let's say that.
Yeah,
Because
that's
Tom Holland kept
the
pissing me
early to
off.
mid 20s is the prime Spider-Man.
Yeah. And but cause like Tom Holland, like I was like, I get it. And trust me, I get it. Like Chelsea Schnob, I get it. Like I do.
Mhm.
But
No.
I just personally, it was just irking my soul with how emotional and illogical sometimes he was. And I was like, but you are 18 and that's what you do at 18. So
And to go off that though, I think that's why the way they left him, if they continue with the Tom Holland story, is the best way you can do it.
it is
Because
Mhm.
like there's not gonna be as much emotion anymore. What's the emotion toward? There's nothing for him to be emotional about. Although there are going to be things. I'm sure they're going to introduce Gwen Stacy. I'm sure you're going to get a lot of those. So there will be emotion at some point, but like now he's just Peter Parker. Now he's just Spider-Man. Now he's going to have to use his own brain because he has no one he can go to. And I think they left it a good spot. I'm the same way. Like if you think of the comics, he's barely in high school in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
He's off to college within the first, I think, 50 issues or something like that. And so I think they can go in a really good direction with him now. And I agree with that. Like you see a lot of, but you can't say anything because he's 15, 16, 17, 18 in the movie. So it's like, of course he's going to be doing things like that because he's kind of, even though he's trying to help the greater good, he's still selfish in a way because he doesn't even realize it because he's too naive because he's so young. Well put.
Very well put.
I left him
Very well put.
speechless.
Very well put. But it was a great movie. Oh, but what am I reading? I'm reading a book about the history of black art.
Okay.
So like it's It's a pretty lengthy read. It's literally like reading a textbook, but it's pretty cool though. You know what I'm saying? Um, what have I been watching? I just watched the new Demon Slayer arc. That was smooth.
Is that new or is that the older one that
New one. It's like new. It just dropped. I
what's
just
that
been
about?
watched that. It's about like there's a demon that they have to go kill that's in this like entertainment district where kind of like prostitutes run a city. Like you
Mhm.
don't see them doing any prostitution or anything, but like
But you know.
prostitution, yeah. But you can kind of tell by how they got it going on. Prostitutes run the city, and like the head like madam essentially was a demon, and you just see them take it down. You just see them take down the demon, and it's pretty cool because one of the demon slayers got 3 wives, and he's like such a dude, and it's kind of funny. But yeah, like that's something I watched. Um, it's another anime I watched called Platinum In.
Mhm.
It's basically about it's a kid who it's a like a high school kid who wanted to commit suicide, and an angel basically saved him because let's say every so often a human is chosen to be God, but how they choose him is or choose him or her is they give like 12 people a guardian angel and they all fight to the death essentially for it to become God.
I've always been fast. I don't know why I can't get into anime because I've always been fascinated with the stories that are in anime, but I've just never been able to get into it. I don't know why.
Is
I'm the
well,
same way.
I get it though. Like I understand because I wasn't always an anime guy. Like you can ask Schnabel. Like this was
Mhm.
in my late like mid 20s when I started watching anime. So like I can understand it is because at first it takes so long to set it up. Second, you got to understand like it's a totally different culture you got to get used to. You know what I'm saying? Like that's Eastern culture or Western culture. So like a lot of their symbolisms is different. Like they it's a lot of like Hindu symbolism, Buddhist symbolism, Confucianism, Maoism, all that kind of stuff. So like it's always like that kind of stuff. And then also it's a lot of themes that's going on in Japan that I didn't know about. I was like watching something, like I was watching like some Naruto, like Naruto explained some guy, and he really just like goes deep into Naruto because I'm a Naruto guy. So
Where do you watch that? What's
on
that channel
YouTube,
called?
oh, it's called Naruto Explained. It's a YouTube channel.
Give them the shout out. I gave the
Thank
variant the shout
you.
out. We don't. It's not. We get anything. They probably won't even know they got the shout out.
Probably not, but yeah, he goes deep. Like if you want to get into Naruto, just start watching all his videos. Yo, you will be an expert without even watching the anime or reading the manga. But because he was explaining how like suicide is a big thing over there. Like I didn't realize this until I started like really like noticing like pedophilia is kind of a thing over there, which is kind of weird to me. And so I had to get used to some stuff. And where I'm kind of like, I do too much, and there's some I don't watch because they be doing too much. So it's like, and it's that. Then there's also different storylines. Like I was watching one anime that was about talking about if you could read somebody's mind, would that bring you closer to them?
Hmm.
And think about
I don't.
just like
I
think
guess
about that
some
concept.
people. It
It's
actually
like,
probably draw you away from most people.
or
I
and they took it to a different level halfway through. If you could share each other's pain, like so, let's say if Chelsea pinched her cheek, we all feel it, kind of deal.
Mhm.
So, what happens if we all felt each other's pain? Would we become closer to each other or would we drift apart? So we know what each other's thinking and we feel each other's pain. On the surface, you would think that it would draw you closer.
Well,
I
personally,
don't
I think
think
that would
so.
draw you apart.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely. I
I
think the
think
same
that would,
way.
yeah, I think that would push people away, especially the mind reading, the hurting. I guess the same thing. I wouldn't want to talk to somebody because if I hurt them emotionally, then I'm going to be hurt emotionally. and you don't know what
Absolutely.
can trigger somebody emotionally, even though you can read their mind. And then you read their mind and you know, like that might trigger them. And I'd probably become absolutely secluded. I wouldn't even go near anybody.
It's an
Mentally, it's just
interesting.
worse. Like
Yeah.
It's horrible.
that's just. I would. I I would go psycho. Honestly, that's just brutal.
It's like I said, I don't know why I've never been able to get into it, because the concepts are so, it seems so good
It
and
is.
usually very original. I just can't get into it.
It's all good. But I can't lie. One artist I have been listening to, his name is ESTG.
ESTG.
Yes, but it's spelled EST. I guess that means something in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm not going to speak on it. I
Okay.
guess GEE.
Easter.
I don't know. ESTG. I don't know. But
ESTG. Well,
he's
I guess if you are spelling it out, it'd be ESTE, like or GEE. But if you're saying the G, like
it's,
that's a word,
yeah.
I guess technically that's spelled correctly, which makes no sense, right? Like G, if you're writing G, it's GEE instead of just writing of a G. Like it's a GEE. Makes no sense.
But it's cool. So like he's a fun gangster rapper. Like I like a lot of gangster rap. I'm not even gonna lie to you, Joseph. So like killing
You
it.
lie to everyone else.
Nah, I don't lie to nobody. Ain't no point in lying that for real. It's just an expression I've always said. I don't know why. But
Okay.
bro, he be going hard.
Well, I think this was a successful landing back into the podcast. We definitely will be releasing a lot more. This will not become a one-time. I think I said this last time too. I was like, "Oh, this won't be one and done. We'll be back next month or something like that." And that didn't happen. Months later, here we are. Spider-Man brings us together again, as he should, into his web. We come together. But this was another successful episode of Sketching Up. Chelsea, you have any closing words for us?
Just know with great power comes with great responsibilities. Thanks, guys, for tuning in and meeting me. Yeah, letting me be here, Chris and Kyle. Thank you, guys.
Of course. And that's actually, there's two things about that line. In No Way Home, that's the correct way it's supposed to be said. And also, who said in the comic books? Anyone?
Ant-Man?
No.
Not Uncle Ben?
No one said it. It was
a
caption at the end that was written as narration.
Oh.
I just learned something new today.
Fun fact.
That's
Fun
crazy.
fact. Kyle, any closing words?
Closing words. Andrew Garfield is the best Spider-Man to me. Just gonna be real. I need more Andrew Garfield. I would love to see him in a villain movie, a Venom movie.
I'd like to see him in some villain movies too.
Man, honestly, can I just slight ending thing? I want to see more villain movies, man. Like I'm a villain guy. I want to see more villain movies.
You're living in the right time. You're living in the right time. They're all coming out.
The Joker was so good.
So good. Well, so you got Venom, you got Joker, you got Venom.
Venom was great.
You got was it Morbius coming out? You have the Penguin series. That's what they're doing now. They're doing these villain movies and then adding the heroes later,
which I like.
The reason the Spider-Man villains are doing that, like Morbius and Venom, is because Sony owns the rights to them and they want to make bank off them. And now that we know that the universes can combine, we know that the villains can now be a part of the MCU. But you're seeing it a lot more now. You're seeing these villain movies where you kind of see like how they became this way and stuff like that. And then, I mean, any movie with the Joker, if you portray the Joker correctly, you're probably going to win an Oscar, because it's just such a tough character to nail down. And if you can do it, it's going to be great. And as we saw with Heath Ledger And then who was the Joker in that one? Joaquin Phoenix, right?
Yeah, that was
And then
depressing, by the way. Like,
yes, it was so good. And then we see the bad version with Jared Leto or Leto.
That was
I'm not a fan of him.
Okay, it was with me in that version. He was just a little too
silly. He was silly. He was not evil.
He was creepy to me.
Yeah,
like, he just seemed like just a weirdo on drugs to me with paint and paint on his face that shoots people in the face. Like, he just seemed like a weird version of Young Thug to me. Like,
has anyone seen House of Gucci? Okay, he's in House of Gucci, and he's playing one of the Gucci, not Gucci brothers, the other, I don't remember. He's playing one of the sons, and he's like an over-exaggerated Mario character, and it's so bad. We can go into a whole thing on him. We're not going to do that though, because we're wrapping up. I'm not a big fan of him. Good in the Dallas Buyers Club. Nothing else, in my opinion, that I've seen him in, at least. I'm not a big fan of him. But another successful episode. We will definitely get into a lot more of these topics in the next episode of Sketching Up. We thank you for joining in. You can find us Sketching Up Podcast on everything. I think Instagram. We don't update anything else, but you can find us there if you wanted to. If you want to see us, we're on YouTube, Sketching Up. If you want to listen to us, wherever you find your podcast, you're going to hear this. You can also listen to old ones. I mean, this 3 years old, this podcast now. It might not seem like it because we were gone for a little bit, but it is 3 years old. We started in 2020. Started this thing in 2020. So definitely go check that out. But for Chris, Kyle, and Chelsea, we will see you later. Thank you for tuning in to Sketching Up, and we'll see you next time.